Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to my favorite party games of 2022. There's a lot of different categories of games that are out there. There's war games, there's train games, there's all sorts of things. The reason I do party games as a separate category is because I think that it's something that attracts a lot of people. There's a lot of gamers out there who aren't interested in party games at all, but there's a lot of people in general who like party games. So there's a lot that come out over the course of a year. These are the 10 that I recommend the most that I liked. Number 10 is Pinpoint from Nauvoo Games. This is actually 3 different party games, and each on their own. I mean, like they're similar to other party games. Like one, you're ranking stuff from 0 to 100, and one, you're trying to guess what people are going to say. But putting 3 in one box gives you 3 different ways to play. They're the sort of games, Pinpoint, where you're trying to know other people or how well do you know them. So worth checking out. Number 9 is Phantom Inc. So Phantom Inc. is a team versus team party game, which a lot are, where you're trying to guess a word and getting clues, giving clues, but you're like a phantom. You're like, oh, I'm riding a ladder. And as you slowly are filling in the word, which team is going to guess that first and asking different clues to their different person. It's a fascinating little game, Phantom Inc. Number 8 is Duos. Duos is a game in which there's a grid of different items, and there's actually 2 versions you can buy. I think one is Fantasy Sports, and the other is Items Animals. And you have this grid out there, and you're just picking 4 pairs out of this grid. So I'll be like, oh, well, that's a dinosaur and that's an alligator. They're both reptiles. I'll put them together. Oh, that's a cockroach and that's a spider. Both things that scare me, whatever they are. And everyone else is putting things in pair, trying to match me. That's a fun thing. It's especially fun when it's done and everyone goes, you put those 2 together? How could you do that? Number 7 is Feed the Kraken. So social deduction is an off branch of party games where you don't know who's on what team, things like werewolf. In Feed the Kraken, we have the good sailors against the bad pirates, against the cultists. And you're trying to make the ship sail to a different spot. And it's a simple game, but a lot of cool negotiation. It goes from 5 to 11 players, has really cool components, just comes together. I'm getting a little jaded on social deduction games, and this one felt a little different than many of them. Number 6 is Spaceship Unity. Now, this one here is kind of a weird party game because it doesn't look like a party game. You're on a spaceship and you're trying to fix a spaceship and there's timers and stuff. And it's probably the most complex game and yet also possibly the stupidest game on this list. Because in Spaceship Unity, you are filling your kitchen sink with water and raising and lowering that water to do one of the tasks. You are stretching out the cord of a vacuum cleaner. You are bouncing ping pong balls. You're using anything in your house that it shows you. It will say, okay, for this part, you need to do this and that. And so you're playing this game with household objects, trying to pretend to fix different systems on a spaceship. It's stupid, but it's also fun. Number 5 is Handtohand Wombat. Handtohand Wombat is a cooperative game. One person's a trader. Well, we've seen games like that before. But in this game, you're all closing your eyes in a box and you're building these little, they look like those little things of the baby where you put the little circles on top of each other, the rings. You're building these together, except one person's trying to mess everybody up. And you're trying to figure out who that person is. That person can't be too obvious, but also you're doing it with your eyes closed. This on the list is the funniest one to watch other people play. I like it a lot. Hand-to-Hand Wombat. Number 4 is Bag of Chips. This is a game in which you're pulling chips out of a bag. One person's pulling chips out of a bag. Everyone else has cards, and they're trying to pick the card that they think will get them the most points. Like this one says, if 4 purple chips are pulled out of the bag, I get points. Well, you've already pulled 3. I feel pretty confident this one's going to go off. So it feels like a little bit like a Push Your Luck, a little bit, kind of a spin-off, maybe, any kind of game, blackjack, that sort of game. Silly fun. And also you're pulling these chips from a bag, which is pretty funny. So that's number 4. Number 3, Green Team Wins. Green Team wins, you're either on the orange team in this game or the green team. The green team wins, so you want to be on the green team. How do you do that? The game asks you a question. You're going to answer that question, and you're trying to match what everyone else says. You want to be one of the crowd, so you can get on the green team to get more points. Simple, but very fun. Number 2 is One-Aeronauts. This is a game that uses the same sort of cards that we've seen in many party games, like Dixit and Muse and things like that. And in this game, you're taking these cards, and it's a cooperative version, but there's a computer card thrown in there, and you're trying to figure out which card that was played should not be there. It's kind of an interesting facet. We found it to be a lot of fun, a lot of arguing in this game, but the fun kind of arguing. And of course, the artwork is very cool looking. That's One-Aeronauts. And then my number one party game from 2022 is Fun Facts. This is the third in a series from Repos games. You may have played their first couple, Just One and So Clover. Fun Facts is not as good as both of those, but both of those games are phenomenal. But Fun Facts is still interesting in that it asks a question to the players. It might be like, on a scale of 1 to 100, how much do you like cats? So you write your number down. For me, it would be 37. And then you are going to put those numbers in the middle, and you're trying to put it above or below other people and trying to have them progress in order from largest to smallest without communicating that. Really fun. And afterwards, of course, you're like, I thought you loved cats. Or for me, you'd be like, Tom, I thought it would be like a 3. I'm like, I don't hate cats that much. I just don't like them that much. Or whatever it is. Very funny game, cool components, and it's a worthy successor in this party game line. So that's Fun Facts. Those are my 10 favorite games for parties in 2022. Thanks for watching. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.